Doctor Who Season by Season. Season 17 Review. Season 17 is one of the most controversial seasons in the history of Doctor Who. For everyone who loves the season, there's someone who hates it. Unfortunately for the latter group, however, this is not one of those reviews, so the anal, humorless miserigs crowd might as well piss off now. I will make no bones about it, I love Season 17. It is my third favorite season in the entire history of the program and the second best of the Tom Baker era. What's not to love? For starters, you have Tom Baker in the lead role, magnificent, commanding and batshit insane. He's an absolute tour de force of nature by this point and utterly irresistible and hilarious to watch. In this season he also gets to be accompanied by his greatest companion, if not the greatest companion ever, in the shapely form of Romana Mark II, as played by the lovely Lalla Ward. Make no mistake, I love the second Romana and she and Tom together, with or without the wonderful K9, who the miserigs crowd also hate usually. What a bunch of tedious bores they are my favorite TARDIS team ever. Here they embark on their greatest run of adventures. Destiny of the Daleks. Destiny is crap apparently, if you believe a certain kind of fan. It's pacier than its immediate predecessor, infinitely less tedious and boringly macho than its successor, is strikingly well directed, particularly on location, with some interesting ideas. Not a classic mayhaps, but little to deserve any venom. I prefer it to the thoroughly overrated Genesis, let alone the completely terrible mess that is Resurrection, personally. Oh, and it's also got a few jokes, which must make it terrible to our aforementioned boring crowd. By the way, the Romana regeneration scene is beeping hilarious. City of Death. Absolute classic. Everyone knows it, and anyone who disagrees should be shot at dawn. End of. Creature from the Pit. Another much slagged story, for no apparent reason. An interesting story, with a cool villainess, a magnificent jungle set, miles better than the shitty one in Kinda, but the Williams era was so cheap, wasn't it? Well, no actually, Tom and Lalla on good form, some really atmospheric stuff in the caves, a surprisingly well-realized giant monster and some great jokes. Miles better than Hinchcliffe era shit like the android invasion. Nightmare of Eden. Probably the weakest of the season, but it's still not bad. This is the only time in the season where the tone of the story and the production do seem at odds with each other a little, but at the end of the day it's still Tom and Lalla battling silly monsters and being awesome doing so. Miles better than Hinchcliffe era shit like Revenge of the Cybermen. The Horns of Neyman. One of the worst stories ever, apparently. Well, maybe if you've got a giant stick up your butt and can't get it out because of all that flab. Get off your mom's couch and exercise, damn you. In truth, The Horns of Neyman is absolutely brilliant entertainment. The story itself is rock solid throughout, and could have been played dead straight. Instead it's played as a comedy and is absolutely great fun. Tom is off the scale nuts and has a ham and scenery chewing contest with Graham Crowden, who is hilarious himself, while Lalla plays it dead straight, which is even funnier. Some great visual effects. The collapse of the mummified corpse is awesome, and Janet Ellis, who is as cute as hell here, actually looks like she really jumps a foot when it happens. This is top 20 stuff for me. Pure enjoyment. Shada. Despite being available on VHS for 23 years and now DVD for the last few, some people resolutely refuse to count Shada as part of the season or even canon. Up yours, I say. It's a damn sight more canon than Big Finish or all of New Who for that matter. I first saw this back in the early 90s when it was first released on VHS and I instantly fell in love with it. Yes, it's a shame it was never fully completed, but in a way Tom's batshit crazy narration is as much a part of the story as the 70s stuff. Either way, it's a wonderfully fun story, totally in character with the rest of the season, and again, this is top 20 stuff for me. In summary, Season 17 is one of the all-time great seasons of Doctor Who and television for that matter. A sense of real fun, magic, warmth and humour runs throughout the year, as it does all of the Williams era, the best era of the show by a long way. If you're a dour, humorless misericks who takes Doctor Who terribly seriously and writes long dissertations on Time Lord mythology or something, you'll probably hate it. If, on the other hand, you're just looking for fun, entertaining, damn good Doctor Who and TV, you cannot miss it. Sadly, the following season would remove much of that feel from the show, replacing it with a rather cold, clinical feel aimed strictly at serious sci-fi nerds, with only a couple of stories worth bothering with. That's a tale for another time though. Season 17 is nothing short of sublime.